Hello, I'm Maggie. Thank you for joining me today for class. I will be guiding you through slow flow, strong class, focusing on fluidity and being in the body. So today I don't have any necessary props that you may need, but always feel free to grab anything that's going to help you feel supported throughout your practice and your time on your mat. Blocks are always nice to have around as a little extension of the arms, helping you have more space, get closer to the ground. You can use books or pillows or anything else that you feel you may need. Let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start in an easy seat around the middle of your mat. You can sit up on a block if you notice tightness in your hips. It can help just open up that space around your hip flexors. Sit up nice and tall and take a moment to settle into the body. You might need to wiggle out. Maybe take some head or neck rolls. Maybe some shoulder rolls. Maybe playing with the tilt of the pelvis until you find that happy medium spot. Let your shoulders relax down your back body. Your hands can rest on your legs or on the floor next to your hips. Sit up tall through the spine. Feel the connection of your sits bones down on the floor as you reach tall through the top of your head. Imagining as if there's a thread that is hooked right at the base of your head where your neck meets, and it's pulling your spine up toward the ceiling. Start to notice your breath and allow your awareness to come into your space and into your body. If you'd like to set an intention for your time on your mat, I encourage you to take a moment to do that now. Take a nice deep inhale through your nose. Fill up your lungs, fill up your diaphragm, let your belly expand. And on your exhale, sigh it out of your mouth. Take one more. You're welcome to keep your eyes closed or gently blink open your eyes and come back into your space. Place your hands on your knees and then take your right rib cage and press it over to the right. You can use your right hand as leverage on your knee and then thread your heart forward, squeeze your shoulder blades, notice the lift of your tailbone, the weight transfer in your legs here, and then draw your left rib cage over to the left. Root down through the right leg. This can help open up through the right hip a little bit of the left side body, as well as the left side body. And then bring your heart toward the space behind you. Feel your tailbone scoop under, like you're creating a giant C shape with your spine. So we've completed a full circle. Let's make it a little bit more fluid and connected. I like to envision like I'm scraping the inside of a bowl with a ladle. Making this movement as big, as exaggerated, as involved as you would like. And then go the other direction. Noticing the sensations in the body, noticing the weight transfer in your body, on your pelvis. And we'll meet in center. Take a moment here feeling into your torso as we've just created a little bit more space. And then roll over your shins, place your hands down on the floor, uncross legs. We meet in our tabletop position here. Shoulders stack over your wrists. Keep your toes untucked here. Hips stack over your knees and press into your inner palm, into your thumb and index fingers. Notice how you push the floor away and what happens with your shoulders. Keep your core strong and then pull your shoulder blades down your back body to help lengthen through your spine. Press the top of your feet, your shins into the floor, creating stability, creating your foundation. And we'll move through a couple rounds of cat-cow. On your inhale, start with your tailbone lifted up toward the ceiling. Let your belly button drop down toward the floor. Your heart starts to pull through your biceps. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Chin lifts, gaze lifts. On your exhale, reverse it. Scoop the tailbone under. Feel the wave and the ripple through the spine as your back body starts to press up toward the ceiling, and then press the floor away with your hands, creating space between the shoulder blades. Chin tucks into the chest. Reverse it again for your cow. Inhale. Feeling the articulation of the spine moving slowly, moving with the breath. And on the exhale, find your cat. Take one more. Inhale. And exhale. Come back to neutral. Knees adjust to go a little bit wider. Send your hips back towards your heels, child's pose. Sink your hips down toward the heels. Hands might want to walk a little bit farther out in front of you to feel the length in your body, growing tall from your hip points all the way out through your fingertips. So just as we did with our cat-cow, we're going to ripple forward, inhaling, scooping tailbone under, shoulders start to rise and stack over the wrists, and then the hips start to melt down into this modified upward facing dog. Feet can untouch as you lift the heart, and then press it on back, waving and rippling through the spine like a very exaggerated cat-cow. Inhaling, rippling forward, lifting through the heart, belly button drops, and then wave it on back. Last one. Inhale, ripple forward. It doesn't matter what it looks like. We're focusing on sensation and fluidity here in the body. Take one more for good measure, and this time you're going to tuck the toes under on your way back and press all the way into a downward facing dog. Taking a moment of pause here, still continuing with movement, shifting the weight into the left and right. Feet pressing evenly into both of your hands. Maybe you play with lifting the shoulders and opening up through your sides. And then we'll find stillness. Soft or deep bend into the knees, press into the hands to guide your chest back toward your thighs. Inhale, lift the heels so they stack over the balls of your feet. Start to lift through the spine, tailbone scoops under, wave forward into a high plank. And on your exhale, bend into the knees, send your hips back towards your heels, start to lift through the tailbone, and then press your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale, wave it forward. Exhale, send it back. Last one. Inhale, wave it forward. Exhale, send it back. Inhale, wave it forward, hold. Shoulders over wrists. Heels press over to stack on top of the balls of your feet. Floors pressed away with your hands. And then drop down to your knees, back into your tabletop. Untuck your toes. And then reach your right hand along out in front of you. See if you can get your bicep next to your right ear. Your thumb reaches up toward the ceiling. And then lift through your left leg, balancing on the left hand and the right knee. Breathe. See if you can lower the left hip down so it's even with the right, just as if you never removed your left leg from the floor. On your inhale, lift everything 1 inch higher. Exhale, round. Tap your knee and elbow underneath your chest. Press the floor away, round through your spine. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, round. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, round. Inhale, lengthen. Let your right hand land on the mat. Left leg crosses behind the right. Land on your left toes. Here, send your hips back in space. I like to call this like a funky pigeon. Twisted pigeon. Press into your hands. Your gaze can look over the right shoulder, back at your toes, opening up through the left side. Keeping your legs as they are, just pivot on the right knee so the shin becomes parallel to the top and bottom of your mat. Peel your left hand open for a supported side plank on a diagonal. Yes, you're going to be crooked on your mat. Yes, that's okay. Reach tall through the left fingertips. And on your exhale, bring everything back to center. Left hand lands, left knee comes back to meet the right. We find it on the other side. Inhale, left hand lifts, breathe. Find your length here through the fingertips, like you're reaching for something far out in front of you. And then once you find your balance, the right leg lifts. Reach through your heel, toes point down toward the floor. Inhale, lift everything 1 inch higher. Exhale, round. Tap your elbow and knee underneath your chest. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. Last one. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift. Left hand lands, right leg crosses behind the left. Land on your toes. Send your gaze over the left shoulder. Keep your legs as they are. Just pivot on the left knee. Open up into your supported side plank. You can take a little heart opener here, pulling the top shoulder back in space. Right hand can reach up and over. And bring it back to center. Back into your tabletop. Tuck your toes under. Send your hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Press the floor away. Your shoulders should become like earrings, so close to your earlobes. Inhale, send your gaze to the top of the mat. And on your exhale, slowly walk your feet towards your hands for your forward fold at the top. Inhale, halfway lift, hands come to shins or thighs. Breathe here. Chest becomes parallel to the floor. Pull your shoulder blades down your back body. Gaze is on the floor, just out in front of you. And lift up through the back of your neck by tucking your chin in. One more inhale, lift through your tailbone, lengthening through your hamstrings. And on your exhale, forward fold. Find ragdoll. Heel toe your feet hip width distance apart. You can grab opposite elbows. You can find a sway. You can find a rock. Let your head hang heavy. If you grabbed opposite elbows, release your hands and start to take some wrist rollouts. So your hands go into fists. Roll out your wrists in both directions, still in your forward fold, mindfully shifting your weight into your toes so your weight is evenly distributed throughout your feet. And then find stillness, hands reach down to the floor. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, mountain. Slowly roll up to standing. Feel the connection of your feet on the mat. Stack each vertebra, and then fingertips float up high toward the ceiling. Maybe the gaze even lifts. Pause here. As you press the floor away with your feet, notice your legs start to turn on. Thighs pull away from your knees. Glutes are engaged. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Hinge at the hips. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step back, high plank. Toes tucked under, scoop the tailbone under. Inhale. Exhale, drop down to your knees. Stay on your toes, rise up into a high kneeling. Shoulders stack on top of hips, hands reach tall. Step your right foot forward into a low crescent. Right knee pushes toward the right toes. Here you can untuck your back foot if you would like. Root down through your right big toe and then draw your knee toward the pinky edge of your foot. Scoop your tailbone under to lengthen through your low back and then send your hips forward and down. Inhale. Exhale, sweep your hands back behind you, taking arm circles. Hands reach up on your inhale. Exhale, hands reach back. And switch directions. And pause with hands up toward the ceiling. Tuck back toes under, rise up, high crescent. Lift the left knee off the floor. Keep pressing into the floor with your right foot. And then press into the mat with your left toes to pull your heel over the ball of your foot. Inhale. Exhale, warrior two. Drop your back heel down so your foot is parallel to the back of your mat. Hands reach long, shoulders relax. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Right palm flips up and over. Keep sending the right knee toward the top of your mat. The lengthening will happen from your right hip through your side body, out through the left fingertips. Though you're holding this position, there's still movement happening. Your heart is beating, your breath is moving through your body, blood is pumping, energy is moving. Inhale. Exhale, triangle, straighten through the right leg. Right hand reaches down toward the floor, landing on your mat or a block. Left hand reaches up toward the ceiling. Breathe. Press your left hip back in space. Reach through the top of your head. Soft bend in the right knee. Inhale, left hand reaches up and over, encouraging more of an opening through your left side. Inhale. Exhale, goddess. Left hand sweeps down and around in front of you. Shuffle your feet so your big toes reach toward the corners of your mat. Heels pull in. Knees go in the same direction as your feet, and then they pull back in space. Hips sink low. Hands come to your knees. This can be a nice little resting spot for you. Encourage movement. Settling in. Staying with the breath. Find stillness. Take your right shoulder, drop it down through the center, finding a twist in the spine. Gaze looks up at the ceiling. Inhale back through center. Exhale, left shoulder drops. Inhale, center. Exhale, triangle out the way we came. Left foot adjusts so it's parallel with the back edge of the mat. Left hand reaches up, right hand reaches down. Check and make sure that your right foot adjusts and your toes are reaching toward the top of the mat. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Rebend into your right knee. Lift the right hand up and over. Exhale, warrior two. hands become parallel to the floor. Inhale, high crescent, pivot on the back foot, left hand sweeps forward, and then both hands reach up toward the ceiling. Breathe and hold here. Sink the hips a little bit lower. Drop the left knee down to the floor. Step the right knee back to meet the left. High kneeling. Exhale, hands land. Downward facing dog, hips send up and back. Inhale, gaze lifts toward the top, heels lift to stack on top of the balls of your feet. Roll forward on your exhale, high plank, lower all the way down to your belly. Untuck your toes when you land. Hands stay underneath your shoulders. Zip your elbows in toward your side body. Press the top of your feet on the floor. Inhale, cobra. Peel your heart off the mat. Squeeze into your glutes. Press your hip points into the floor. Lift through the back of your neck. One more inhale. Exhale, lower the heart down. Inhale, press through tabletop or high plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, send your gaze toward the top of your mat, float your heels. Exhale, travel to the top, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Hips are on top of ankles. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, roll up to standing. Fingertips lift, maybe the gaze lifts. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step back, high plank. Here we hold for the inhale. Exhale, drop down to the knees. Inhale, high kneeling, shoulders pull to stack on top of the hips, hands float up tall. On your next exhale, left foot steps forward, low crescent. Breathe here. Send your hips forward and down. Energetically pull your front heel and your back knee toward one another, just like you're trying to create a wrinkle in your mat. Think of growing long through your right knee, up through the front of your thigh, through your hip flexor, all the way up through your fingertips. Inhale. Exhale, arm circles, sweep the arms back in space. And inhale, reach them back up. Exhale back. Inhale up. Take a few more here. Stay with the breath. Maybe you want to add in some other movement. Maybe you want to take opposite arms here, like you're swimming in a backstroke. And we go the opposite direction. Feeling your energy move through you, moving at your own pace. And we meet with both hands up toward the ceiling. Tuck the right toes under. Inhale, high crescent. Press into the right toes. Lift your right knee. Left knee stays stacked on top of the ankle. Scoop your tailbone under. If this is a lot or feels kind of crunchy, bend into the right knee. Inhale. Exhale, warrior two. Left knee stays bent. Drop the right heel down to the floor. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Left hand reaches up and over. Breathe. Exhale, triangle. Straighten through the left leg. Press your hips back in space. Right hand reaches tall. Take a moment here. Check in with your shoulders. Pull the right shoulder back in space. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. And then reach long through the crown of your head. Inhale, right hand reaches up and over, lengthening through the right side. And on your exhale, goddess, sweep the right hand down and around in front of you. Shuffle your feet, so heels pull in, big toes reach toward the corners of your mat. Hands can come to hips or knees. Make sure your knees are pulling back in space. So you'll feel some activation happening in your outer glutes, in your outer thighs. Rock here. Hands can be on knees. They can be at heart center. They can be out to the side. Maybe you find a little dance. Find stillness, inhale. Exhale, triangle back to the top. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, high crescent. Sweep your right hand down and around. Exhale, low crescent. Drop down to the right knee. Inhale, left knee steps back. High kneeling. Exhale, downward facing dog. Hands plant, hips send up and back. Inhale, wave forward, high plank. Exhale, lower down halfway, chaturanga. Elbows are in nice and tight to your side body. Squeeze into the glutes. Inhale, upward facing dog. Hips and knees are lifted. Press into your hands. Squeeze shoulder blades, thread the heart forward. Inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a moment, check in with the body, find any movement, explore. Know that this is your time to be curious. To move the body without any judgment from yourself or from others. When you're ready, inhale, send the gaze toward the top of the mat. Exhale, forward fold, step, hop, float the feet to the top. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold, hang out here in gorilla. Heel toe your feet hip width distance apart. Flip your palms to face your chest and then step the sole of your foot on the palm of your hand. Here, it does not matter how deep a bend you have in your knees. Your chest is encouraged to rest on your thighs and let your head hang heavy. This is a wrist release. Reconnect with your breath. And then start to peel your hands back out from underneath your feet. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, mountain. Roll all the way up to standing. Interlace your hands above your head. Keep your index fingers out, cross your thumbs. On your exhale, side body stretch to the right. Root into the left foot. Reach your fingers up, then over, like you're trying to press your left rib cage up toward the ceiling, where the ceiling and the wall meet. Inhale, come back through center. Exhale, reach over to the left. See if you can keep your hips still rather than pushing everything over to the right. We just want to find this nice side body stretch. Inhale, center. Exhale, chair. Send the hips back in space, bend at the knees. Fingertips remain active. Pull the thumbs back in space. Biceps squeeze the ears. Hold here. Start to shift your weight into the right foot. Lift and hover the left foot. Find your balance. Embrace the wobbles. On your exhale, high crescent, left foot steps to the back of the mat. Land on your toes. Fingers reach tall, shoulders adjust to stack on top of hips. Inhale, reach the heart forward. Exhale, warrior three. Float the left foot off the mat. Hands can come to heart center. They can stay long. They can come down to the floor. Breathe here. Flex your toes. Try to kick your heel to the back of the room. And then lower the left hip down so it's even with the right. Start to draw the left knee in toward your chest. And then lower all the way down to a seat. Left leg lands out in front of you. Kind of like a modified little pistol squat. Let your right knee fall out to the side. Your foot lands on the inside of the left thigh. Inhale, lengthen, hands float tall. Exhale, fold over the left leg. Think of hinging at the hips here. Lengthening through the spine. Pulling the left toes toward the chest. Know that you can use a strap here. You can place your hands on blocks. You might look different than me. You might look different than you did a week ago in this shape. And you're exactly where you're supposed to be. Inhale, come back to center. Bend both knees, hip width distance apart, the feet plant. Lower all the way down onto your back body. Preparing for bridge. Pull your heels in towards your glutes. Fingertips graze the back of your ankles. Inhale, start to press the feet into the mat. Peel your hips off the floor and then the rest of your spine. This is a great place to use a block underneath your sacrum. You can also place a block between the knees. If you'd like a bind, interlace hands underneath your lower back. Lock the shoulders in. Or a personal favorite of mine is to grab the ankles. It helps create a little bit more leverage if that's what you're looking for. Take one more round of breath. And slowly make your way back down onto your back. Hug the knees into the chest, rock and roll. We'll meet in a forward fold at the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, mountain, grow tall, feel into the spine, float the fingertips tall. Exhale, forward fold, hinge at the hips. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands plant. Step or jump back to move through your vinyasa. High to low plank, upward facing dog or cobra, downward facing dog. That's where we meet. Know that you're welcome to pause in child's pose. We're going to begin the other side. Inhale, lift the gaze. Exhale, travel to the top of the mat. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, mountain. Interlace your hands at the top. Index fingers stay out. Exhale, side body stretch to the right. Breathe here. Play with the angle. Maybe you rotate the left shoulder down. Get a nice little stretch in the upper back. Or you can play with a little bit of a heart opener, pulling the left shoulder back in space. Inhale, center. Exhale, over to the left. Breathe. Explore, play. Inhale, center. Exhale, chair. Sink it low. Look down. Make sure you can see all 10 toes. Squeeze the inner legs together. Feel your glutes start to turn on. You can also think of trying to pull your feet to touch without moving them. Pull your thumbs back in space, shift the weight into the left foot, hover the right. Hold. Embrace the wobbles. Feel the heat cranking up in your left leg. And then step the right foot to the back of the mat, high crescent. Inhale, reach the hands forward, heart hovers over the thigh. Exhale, warrior three. Hands can drop to heart center or the floor or blocks. This is an active shape. Press the back of your right knee toward the ceiling. Pull your shoulder blades down your back body. Feel all the muscles in your left foot working. Start to hug the right knee into the chest. And then lower down onto your seat, right leg out in front of you. Lower the left knee. Hands float up tall on your inhale, lengthening through spine. Exhale, fold over your right leg. If you set an intention for yourself at the start of practice, remind yourself of that intention now. As the body's warm, as the heart rate's increased, as the body and the mind and the breath are all being challenged, can you remember why you showed up here? Inhale, come back up through center. Bend the knees. Plant your feet hip-width distance apart, lower down, preparing for bridge. One more time. Inhale, lift the hips. Hold. Take any binds that feel supportive or available. Know that they're not an option. Some days your practice might look different than others. Your body might not want to take that deep variation. It might be telling you to rest. Start to unravel, lower down onto the spine. Hug knees into chest. Rock and roll. Take a few rolls, massaging out the muscles that run along the spine. And maybe you gain enough momentum to land in a standing forward fold at the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Nice little spine reset. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, roll all the way up to standing. Fingertips float high. Feel the growth through your body. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands. Step or jump back, high plank. Move through your vinyasa. And you're welcome to completely skip high to low plank. You can hold high plank. You can go straight into downward facing dog. Check in with your body. See if you notice any differences. Maybe it's craving more movement than it did at the start. Maybe you feel more open. Inhale, wave forward, high plank. Exhale, child's pose. Drop down to the knees. Knees go wide, hips sink toward heels. Hands reach out long. You can rest your forehead down on your mat here. Let your belly expand and contract between your legs. Rest your forehead on the mat if it isn't already. take your hands, reach them around for your heels. Here, the legs can stay wide, or you can adjust and bring the knees close together as we play with rabbit. Hands grab your heels and start to lift the hips. Your weight transfers onto the crown of your head, opening up through your entire back line. Sink your hips back down to your heels. Rise up into a seat. Take a moment. Find center. Let your hands rest on your legs. Sit over onto one side, swing your legs out to the other. Make your way down onto your back. Extend your legs straight up toward the ceiling for waterfall. If you prefer, you can move yourself closer to a wall and let your legs rest on a wall. You can pedal out the legs or the feet. Take circles with them. You're also welcome to take a block or a pillow and place it underneath your low back for a little elevation here. Take the knees wide, happy baby. Grab the outer edge of your feet. Try to create two 90-degree angles with your knees. Know that you're welcome to use a strap. You're welcome to grab behind the knees. You can rock from left to right. Slowing down, noticing the change in the breath. Hug your knees in toward center, and then let them both drop over to the left for a nice gentle twist. Left arm can cactus out to the side, right hand can lay or rest on top of your knees. Gently bring your legs back through center and over to the other side. Back through center. And find your Shavasana. Let your legs fall long. Take up space with your arms. Adjust as needed. Close down the eyes. Let go of your breath. Let go of any control of your muscles and allow them to just soften. And let your awareness rest on your breath, acknowledging any thoughts that might come up. Know that this is normal and that Shavasana is or can be the hardest part for some people. You're welcome to stay here for as long as you would like, allowing your body to soak up all of the hard work that you just did. When you decide you're ready to close out your practice, gently roll out of your Shavasana. Thank you so much for joining me today, for showing up for yourself on your mat, and I can't wait to practice with you again.